az.com. Because while you might worry you aren't getting through, you are. Keep it up and stay up to date about the latest Arizona drug trends at talknowaz.com. Sponsored by Substance Awareness Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Total Wireless is made to totally keep up with you. We have unlimited data that never slows you down, covered by the Verizon 5G network, and all for less than $30 a month when you get 4 lines. And the best part, we give you a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G when you switch to the 5G Unlimited or 5G Plus Unlimited plan. Visit your local Total Wireless store today. Total Wireless, we're totally with you. Actual speeds may vary by location. For data management practices, see TotalWireless.com.
Did you know that Harrah's Auction Casino is your key to nationwide fun? That's right. You'll unlock perks at more than 50 destinations from coast to coast at your local home for Caesars Rewards. Free dining in Atlantic City? Yes. Free slot play in Maricopa? You bet. Free hotel stays in New Orleans? Oh, yeah. What are you waiting for? Harrah's Auction Casino. Play for all. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700 or 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Visit the Caesars Reward Center for details.
Connect directly, bid confidently. At Purple Wave Auction, transparency is key. With no reserves and no hidden surprises, you're connected directly to sellers so you can inspect and bid on quality equipment with confidence. Whether you're looking for ag, construction, or fleet equipment, we're here to ensure a clear, hassle-free experience. Register today at purplewave.com and start bidding with peace of mind. Purple Wave Auction, the easiest and most straightforward way to buy and sell equipment.
When it comes to your electric bill, saving energy means saving money. That's why SRP offers many ways to help you cut costs and boost comfort. From rebates and discounts that can save you thousands of dollars, to expert insights that can help make your home more energy efficient. SRP has tools and programs that give you many ways to save. Explore your options today at srp.net/savings. That's srp.net/savings.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
The opening acts between the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks split. How do we feel about that? And you know what today is. I mean, we'll get to that. Don't you worry. Welcome in to the Monday edition, the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you for the next 2 hours. We got producer Evan behind the glass, pushing all the buttons, taking your phone calls, 480-864-1060. If you want to get involved with the program, continuing our momentum, we had a really great Takes Friday. We'll have another one of those coming up here this upcoming Friday. But if you still want to get in and be involved, you can do so always, 480-864-1060. You can also watch us on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. And we're also now available on Twitter. So a bunch of different ways for you to join the program all throughout the course of the day. A lot of Diamondbacks ahead of us here on the platter. A big series over the weekend was split. Jordan Lawlar will be promoted to the big league level by the club. We'll talk about that. We'll get you ready for this series starting tonight with the Giants. And so let's start by looking backwards at what we saw over the weekend.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
So I think the right way to start this conversation is to look backwards. I think Thursday, around this time, if I asked you, would you take a series split with the Dodgers? Would you take not losing any more ground in the National League West? Not gaining any ground. You're not getting closer to the Dodgers in the standings, but we feared late last week, could this team fall double-digit games back? Could they fall 8 games back? Could we already be starting the conversation of it is wild card or bust for this team? So I think with that being the backdrop of the conversation that we had last week, you would have taken a 2-2 series split before things got started on Thursday. But that was before Friday happened. And that is before that game on Friday hurt as much as it did. It still hurts today. Blowing that game the way that they did, the roller coaster ride that game was. Getting blown out early, getting excellent relief, from Christian Mena to keep you in the game and battling and scratching and clawing and doing all of the hard work to show. Because you know what Friday showed? When you got knocked down, you dusted yourself off, you got back up, and you were still in the fight, and you punched back. You continued to fight and tie the game, and you took the lead, and we said that Thursday had a chance to be a 10-8 round. While it wouldn't have been a 10-8 round on the scorecard, Friday was going to be a 10-9 round that might have been a KO punch. You might have taken the Dodgers out if you would have won that game on Friday, came storming back, win the game, take the first two of this series, riding high into the weekend, and you had another meltdown in the ninth inning. Kevin Ginkel, old reliable, the guy who's been moved into the closer's role. Shelby Miller, bit of a rough patch. We're going to try Kevin Ginkel. Now Kevin Ginkel has us asking questions. We'll get to this at some point. I don't know who's closing games. The phone might ring at some point during the program, and they may ask producer Evan to close games for them at some point this week. That's where we're at with this bullpen. There is nobody out there that you can trust, and you gave it away with a 6th-run, 9th inning by the Dodgers, and it just took the air out of the room. Now, you were able to bounce back on Saturday. A nice response, a great start from Corbin Burns to make sure that you weren't going to lose this series by winning that second game, but you had them on the ropes. You had them on the ropes in a big way on Thursday. You made it close, and you had to work through some problems there in the 9th inning, and then Friday happened. And Friday is one of those games where you put on the list. You just blew it. You blew that game in the late innings. That's not a managerial decision. You have to go to Kevin Ginkel in that spot. I'm sorry. Shelby, his last 2 times out in these close lead scenarios, has not been very good. Ginkel the night before was good. You go to him again. I have no problem with that decision. Ginkel over Miller. I know Twitter, social media freaked out about going to Ginkel over Miller. Did not have a problem with it. We told you here on this show that it was probably Kevin Ginkel's turn here as they try to find somebody to provide them some stability out there, and it just went sideways on you. And so now you're left asking questions about the bullpen. You're left asking questions of what that game means in the bigger picture, but put it on the list of games they gave away this season. And you hope that one doesn't come back to haunt you, but that one hurts because you had the defending champs on the ropes. You could have gone into the weekend, winners on Thursday, the huge comeback, emotional win on Friday, first game in the new City Connect uniforms. You would have been riding that high into a Corbin Burns start. You were going to be dreaming of taking 3 out of 4 from the Dodgers and gaining ground in the division. And instead, it is a mixed bag. So I don't know how to feel today. I really don't. I don't know if you take the 2 out of 2, you take the split, you haven't lost any ground, you accept that, or are you frustrated? Are you upset? Maybe it's a little bit of both because Friday hurt. Friday hurt a lot.
Yeah, you look at this series and you go 2-2. I think you and I would have taken that coming into it. But I've said this before. Circumstances dictate how you feel. And when you look at Friday's game, you and I were texting during the game of like, this is getting knocked down, getting back up, and coming forward. You ever seen the movie Real Steel?
Unfamiliar.
Oh, first of all, it's a great film. It's Rocky with fighting robots, but you have the big bad robot. He's the world champion, and he continues to knock down the smaller robot. But he doesn't give up. He keeps getting up, and then he knocks down the big robot at the end of the movie. Spoiler, sorry.
Yeah, I don't need to see it now.
Anyway, awesome film. Hugh Jackman, he's lovely in it. But this is it. This was you got the chance to get back up and continue to throw. And not only did you come back, then you get into the 8th with a 1-run lead and add 2 more. And you're sitting there like, wow, not only did you come back, but you added insurance in the 9th. This could be a 3-run win.
Yeah, you're feeling good. You're feeling good. You got the insurance. It's not close. You built yourself a little bit of cushion. You were just 3 outs away from pulling off what would have been the win of the season. It would have been a statement, right? Taking the first 2 from the Dodgers, and you just let it slip away. It was a self-inflicted wound. Good on you to respond on Saturday. And then yesterday, Gallen struggled. I know everybody is up in arms that Ketel Marte sat yesterday and wasn't in the lineup with a chance to finish off a series. Because if you win the game yesterday, it's a series win. You take 3 out of 4. You're feeling really good about things. And Ketel Marte, who had played the last 6 days in a row, was a scheduled off day. It was something that they had already planned in, and I know there's a lot of people up in arms about it, and I get it. You want to see the best players. You want to see the superstars of this team play every single day. They're being paid a lot of money. They're the stars of this team. They're the engine in the car. They are the straw that stirs the drink, whatever analogy you want to use. Ketel Marte is very, very important to this team and whether or not they're going to be successful. I get it. I understand it. But this is not 2005 anymore. This is not the 1990s. You are not going to see somebody have a Cal Ripken Jr.-esque streak of consecutive games played. The players are making too much money. The teams have too much at stake. He is coming off of a soft tissue injury with the hamstring. They are going to play this on the cautious side of things. And I see who the opponent was. I saw what the opportunity was yesterday to go out there on Mother's Day, pick up a victory, take 3 out of 4 from the Dodgers. I get it. I understand all of the circumstances why that is a spot where you would like to see Ketel Marte out there. It's May, guys. It is May. If this is August and September and we're down the stretch, there's not a lot of time left in the season, it's no longer early, then I think you have a kick coming. I think you have a better argument that you can make. You're not wrong. I want to see Ketel Marte out there just as much as you do. I want to see Corbin Carroll out there every single day just as much as you do. But that's not the way this game is played anymore. It's just not. And so you have two options. You can either be frustrated by it and continue to watch, or you can say, this sport's not for me anymore, and you can move on. And I know that almost anybody who complains, they complain because they love the sport. They complain because they don't want to go anywhere, because this is America's pastime, or at least it was for a long time. I get the frustration. I wanted to see him out there as well. But you're dealing with an injury. It's May. He's played 6 days in a row, and it was a predetermined thing. I mean, I can yell. I could be upset about him not being out there. Again, I wanted to see him out there in that game yesterday. But just not the way the game's played anymore. And so I'm not going to get upset when I know why he sat yesterday. It was easy. Once the lineup comes out, it's easy to put the math together and be like, all right, he's played a bunch. He's coming off of a soft tissue injury with the hamstring. You don't want him to re-aggravate it by pushing a little too hard. So you've got to be careful. And so unfortunately, they picked yesterday as the day to be careful. You can be upset with the decision, but if it wasn't yesterday, it would have been maybe one of the other 3 games of this series. Who knows when they would have picked the day off? But there was going to be a day off built in here at some point. Would you be okay if he played yesterday and didn't play today? Opening of a 3-game series of the Giants, the team that's directly in front of you in the standings? Because either way right now during this 16-game stretch, if you got him a day off, it's against a quality opponent. So sometimes you have to lose the battle to win the war. I think that's a little bit of what they're trying to do here. And so I get it. You're upset by it. I get it. You're frustrated, but that's just the way the game is now.
It's tough because immediately my thought is you got to keep him in the lineup. Just even if you DH him, and just in given the circumstances of the game and everything that is under the sun when you're playing the Dodgers and you're so far back in the division. And we talked about having to take 2 at least to be in a situation where, you can still catch them for the division. But that was an opportunity yesterday. And listen, I don't think it would have changed the game by any means. We saw how they came out there.
I mean, Zach Allen, another early run allowed. The first 2 innings of most of his starts have been where he's been giving up runs and getting crushed. And he gave up another run. They were down before they could even blink. It was 1-0 before he got back into the dugout and started hitting. It was a bad day across the board for Zach.
And so I don't hate the move, and I understand the move. But I also see the other side of maybe the day off was supposed to be Wednesday and Monday, and you better plan it for, what you would consider the most important series of the year to this point.
I do not have a problem with people who are upset that Ketel Marte isn't in there. You want to see your best players play. I have an issue with people who can't wrap their head around understanding why they did it. Do you think everybody involved, if you didn't have an entire rest of the season to worry about, if this was a game that they had to have, that Ketel Marte wouldn't have been in there? He absolutely would have been in there. But they want to make sure he is available for those games. And I get it. Every game counts the same. Every game matters. A win or a loss here in May impacts what you need late in the season. I get it. Trust me. But I understand it. It's just the way the game is played now. Guys are not going to play 162 games. Guys are not going to play 155 plus games. They're just not. There are these designated off days. You have a bench that you want to keep active. You have a bench that you want to keep engaged. And that's just at times what they're going to do. Is the timing of it great? No. The finale of a series where if you win it, it's 3 out of 4 from the Dodgers. I get all that. I understand it. But man, I saw a lot of it on Twitter when the lineup got announced yesterday, and I knew people were going to be upset when he wasn't in there. And trust me, I feel you, but I see what the team's doing. I see what they're trying to do. And I don't think, here's what I'll say, even though last year was a year that it ended on a tiebreaker, I don't think Ketel Marte being in the lineup or not being in the lineup yesterday is going to be what dooms this team. What's going to doom this team right now is that they don't have a bullpen. What's going to doom this team right now is Zach Allen struggled yesterday. What's going to doom this team is they have a fifth starter in Eduardo Rodriguez, who it might be time. I mean, we have this sounder for Jordan Lawlar. We may need a new sounder for calling up a pitcher to replace it. Ryan Nelson, we need you in that spot. Like, that's what's going to doom this team more than Ketel Marte having an off day in May. Speaking of, I know everybody saw the news. I know when everybody saw the news yesterday, this is what you thought of. I know that you thought about it because I was thinking about it yesterday. Because Torey Lovullo made some interesting comments. He laid the groundwork, and it did not take Mike Hazen long to make the decision. We will talk about next. It's the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Feeling uneasy about your financial future? You need a partner that helps lighten the load. Welcome to Global Credit Union. It means early payday, your paycheck up to 3 days early with direct deposit, accounts with no NSF fees, and a mobile app with tools to help you manage your family budget. At Global, we take member care seriously with branches near you and a 24/7 U.S.-based call center staffed by real people. Join us at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee, Peter Frampton. Let's Do It Again tour, June 25th, Arizona Financial Theater. Grammy winner, the one and only Peter Frampton. On sale now at livenation.com. Baby, I love you.
Hey, it's Austin Clark, owner of Moxie Pest Control. Did you know there's over 1,000 pest control companies in Arizona? So why is Moxie the highest and most reviewed pest control company in Arizona? Because at Moxie, we put people first, and we believe in paying it forward. That means kindness every time. It means showing up on time, going the extra mile, and treating your home like it's our own. And by taking a little extra time in our service, we make a few friends along the way. Our field experts are the kind of people you'll feel good having around your spouse, your kids, and your pets. Yes, we've trained them to solve pest problems better, but also to care more, smile more, and earn your trust at every visit. We offer same-day services in most cases, and we'll even give you 50% off your first service when you call. Call 888-MOXIE-10. That's 888-MOXIE-10. Moxie Pest Control, the highest and most reviewed pest control company in Arizona.
Rome here with your Rome Report. Listen, I am not much of a soap opera person, but I've got to be real. I cannot get enough of this Bill Belichick, Jordan Hudson, UNC soap opera. Feed the beast hood. Keep it coming. Like, I've always cracked on folks who are obsessed with celebrity goss. Now I'm one of them.
Not talking about this.
No. Was she banned from the UNC football facility, as Pablo Torre said on his pod, or, as the school says, is that bogus? And though we're not there yet, what if the hood had to choose between what he calls his creative muse and the school? What if UNC did try to tell him what to do? Who would he choose, her or the school? And most hilarious of all is that the guy who has pounded into his players for decades, eliminate all distractions, now has one of the biggest distractions ever. I'd call the guy a hypocrite, but I'm having way too much fun with it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go hit refresh on my lapper to see if anything new has happened. I'm Jim Rome. The basketball playoffs are here on Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on the action. The app is so simple to use. Just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code ROAM. Get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. That's code ROAM on Prize Picks to get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get the $50 bonus credit just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
O'Reilly. Get the full exterior car care experience with the Pro X1 Car Care Collection Wash Kit, only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. The kit includes all-wheel tire and cleaner, glass cleaner, snow foam car wash, and a microfiber wash mitt. Get the essentials in one box for just $19.99. Choose Pro X1 exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS 1060 app.
Shout out to our guy John over on the YouTube live stream. He's volunteered his arm for the bullpen. Says he's got 40 years of rest on his arm. Now, I haven't heard from John. John was our winner of Take Friday, the first Take Friday. He will always be able to have that claim to fame. Should put it in his social media bio right now. One time and the first time Take Friday winner. But you called him after the show to let him know that he had won, and he did not respond to you. He did not answer you because you hung up on him the first time when you put him on the air. You called him after the show. He didn't answer. He emailed into the program yesterday or on Friday and said, hey, hadn't heard from anybody. I don't know if he listened. You left him a voicemail, correct?
I did, yeah.
So I don't know if John has gotten his voicemail. I don't know if he's heard from you. So I need, John, you got to let us know here because you're the winner of the first Take Friday. And I'm sure honestly, if he hadn't gotten your voicemail, I think he would have told us. Because I think he would have loved the opportunity to continue to troll you. But
I left him a voicemail like almost immediately after we got off the air.
He says no one called.
That's false.
In fact, John, I can confirm that he did call you because he then at one point said to me, "Oh, I got John's voicemail because it says John."
Yeah, like I was so confident too because, well, I was nervous the first time I had called off our phone because I didn't know it didn't really go through. I was having I was having a hard time.
Schmammered.
And then I called him off my phone.
Yeah, you used your personal phone.
215 number.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he's confused why he was getting a call from a Philadelphia number, which would be me.
Which would be you, producer Evan of the program.
Yeah.
He says no one called, so maybe you'll have to take care of that.
Yeah, maybe I have the wrong number.
Maybe you have the wrong.
It said this is John.
Yeah. It's interesting. So we have to make sure we take care of John because he's the winner of the first Take Fridays and we want everybody to continue to contribute. So I've got his phone number in an email. I'll forward it to you. Maybe you can talk to him during one of the breaks. I thought if he hadn't heard from you, it was going to be the first message I saw from him today. And he had to wait for me to say something to him. Yeah. Michael says take care of John. So Michael's going after you too. So you got everybody against producer.
I called John. I mean, you were in the room.
I was in the room. Michael says we don't take Philly calls. We're not interested in taking calls from the city of Philadelphia. Yesterday, some interesting quotes from Torey Lovello that now make all sorts of sense considering the news that Jordan Lawlar has been called up to, or will be called up later today, to join the Diamondbacks. And they're going to get started with a 3-game set against the San Francisco Giants tonight. But this was yesterday. This is a quote, or a couple of quotes from Torey Lovello before the game. So this is before the news broke last night. I first saw it from Nick Pecoro of the Arizona Republic reporting that Jordan Lawlar was going to be promoted by the Diamondbacks. This is before the game yesterday. Quote, "We are very well aware of Jordan Lawlar and his progression and his development, and he is coming on quickly. We know that he's doing his job, and I'm really proud of him because he's a very talented player that is knocking as hard as you can at the big league door. When Mike asks me certain questions, I'm prepared to answer them the best way that I can. And based on some of the things I'm just telling you, guys needing days off, we could, if we needed to, we could probably get him 3 or 4 days a week, and that's enough at bats per week. There's a different criteria for different players. So that's what he said before the game. And that was about as open as he's been about this process, saying that if he was called up, we could absolutely get him in the lineup enough days. Remember, he can play second base. He can play shortstop. He can play third base. I've campaigned for him to get some innings in the outfield, whether it's in center or it's in one of the corners, for him to have more versatility here at the big league level. I thought that would help expedite his process to the big league level. But this was before the game. And then it was followed up on of, hey, it's kind of interesting that you're open to moving him around and you're saying all these things. Quote, I wouldn't mind it, that's for sure. I want impact players here. That's what I always tell Mike, and you've got to impact the game offensively, defensively, and run the bases. If you're just getting by here, we don't want those types of players because we have really good players on this team and in the system. And when you are making statements the way that Jordan Lawlar is, we are certainly taking notice. He's a special once in every 5 years type of player. That's what he potentially can do. And they immediately promoted him later on in the day. And I think Torey kind of knew it was coming based on those answers, that they were going to maneuver their roster around after the game and that it was time. Interestingly enough, he's kind of cooled off a little bit down in Reno since that hot start that started all of this, that started us playing that drop on a regular basis. But he just forced the issue too much. I mean, he just was so good down there that it was like, all right, well, what else does he have to prove? Maybe you wanted to get him more innings defensively in certain spots, but offensively, I mean, he proved that he belonged at this level. He proved that he deserved a spot. And so now he's been promoted. We don't know what the corresponding roster move would be. My guess is Tim Tebow is going to get sent back down. And now you have Jordan Lawlar if you're Torey Lovullo, and you have to find a spot for him every day. Maybe not every day, 3 or 4 days a week. And you have second base to pick from. You have shortstop to pick from. You have third base to pick from. Perhaps maybe you get him in the outfield at the big league level. I don't know if they're going to experiment with that. They probably will just keep it to those first 3 positions, the 3 infield positions that he knows pretty well. But he is up. He is here with the big league level. I know he had a small cup of coffee a couple years ago that didn't go very well, but he's had an injury. He's missed some time. He's been matured from that experience, and he's playing great baseball down in Reno. And I'm very excited to see what he's going to be able to provide to this team, because it's going to be a jolt to this lineup in a good way. Because every day he's probably going to be out there, or most days he's going to be out there, and he's going to be moving around all over the place. He'll be at second one night, third the next night, shortstop the night after that. Maybe late in the games he moves around as a defensive replacement. They are just going to find ways to get him into this lineup, and I think it's going to help kind of, not that they need it, but it's going to infuse some energy into this team that's got this young 23-year-old coming up ready to make some noise and help contribute at the big league level. And so it's going to be interesting to see how they use him. They start a series tonight with the Giants. You asked me in the morning meeting, you think he's in there tonight? You would assume if they're calling him up, they want to get him in there right away, but they are facing Justin Verlander, who's had a so-so start to 2025, but you probably want to hit the ground running. So I would not be surprised to see him in the lineup tonight.
And I think he adds flexibility. You talked about how many positions he can play. Obviously, he's played second, short, third, all this year. But he allows, I talked about in segment 1 about getting Marte spots at the DH, to give him a little bit less of a load. So he doesn't have to go out there and play second every night. That's something you can do with Lawlar as a guy who can play that second base spot. You can have Marte DH and then give Pavin or Naylor a night off if you wanted to do that. He just gives you flexibility, and that's something this team certainly needs right now, especially with some of the guys that have been struggling. Obviously, Eugenio Suarez is 12 homers, but when is that really going to start to turn on? And it just really hasn't.
Yeah, he's hitting like 242 in his last 10 games. Suarez is. We looked at that before. Because, honestly, it's kind of a weird time. He hasn't been hitting that well recently down in Reno. He's kind of cooled off from that hot start that he had to the year. And at the big league level, Gurriel had a big home run. Suarez hit 2 home runs in the weekend series over the Dodgers. So it's not like there's a guy hitting 112 in the lineup that you have an immediate replacement for. Team's kind of been hitting okay, at least the spots that we've looked at for Lawlar to get regular at bats. So the timing of it is a little interesting, but they're going to find a way to get him involved. And I can already envision a world where if they're facing a lefty and they don't want to bat both Naylor and Pavin, you move Suarez to the DH that day. Lawlar plays third. Now you've got two righties in the lineup against the lefty. I mean, that's just one scenario I can think of immediately while sitting here. It's going to give, we'll use your word, flexibility to the manager, to the team. It's going to allow him, I mean, for all the criticism of Ketel Marte sitting, Suarez is an older player. You don't want him playing every single day at third base, right? You just don't. You don't want Lourdes Gurriel playing every single day as an older player. You have to pick and choose your spots with these guys. And so that is why Jordan Lawlar is going to, and now we get to use this every time he has a good game. Anytime he has a big moment. Now the other one with the blurb about him coming up, that one's gone, but that's going to stay.
Is it gone?
I mean,
what if in a week's time we're like, oh, he needs to be starting every day at third base?
I mean, potentially.
Then all of a sudden we're playing the sounder again.
Fair. This was just because we play this one we use every day, and that's an iconic sounder. Everybody knows what that is. But we got our voice guy in the building to voice in the tone of the Law and Order open for Lawlar Watch. This is when we were trying to we were keeping tabs on whether or not he was going to get called up. So we got this produced.
In the professional baseball system, there are two separate but important groups: the veteran third baseman who is trying to hold on, and the young top prospect who is breaking down the door. This is Lawlar Watch.
See, I would make the argument the door's already broke down. This is definitely going to get more play than the other one. Like we are going to play that quite a bit. We already have.
It gets more play every day. We do the sounder, like the what do you want to call it? The ringing sounder or whatever. That one. At least 5 times an episode.
Yeah, I mean, this one's going to take over pretty soon.
Schmammered.
I mean, that was from Friday's show.
Schmammered.
That's taking over. That's going to be this is number one right now. That's number one. No questions asked on the power rankings.
Schmammered.
That's going to move up the boards quickly. And for those of you who don't know,
Schmammered. That
was Evan on Friday attempting to, I think, combine the words slammed and hammered.
Schmammered.
And that's what we got. This one.
The alignment.
That's another good one. We've got a lot on the board. We have a lot on the board that get used. And now that one's going to get used every single night he does something well for this team. So now he's up at the big league level. We'll see how he's utilized. They did not call him up to have him sit on the bench. So he is going to be out there. So the moment he has the first night that he doesn't play, nobody freak out, okay? They called him up to play him every single day. They called him up to have him be involved in this team. He may sit a couple times throughout the week, but 3 or 4 days, he is going to be in there contributing, whether he's playing third, whether he's playing short, whether he's playing second. He is going to be moved around, is going to allow other guys to have those days off. And it's probably, for those that were kind of upset about Ketel being out of the lineup yesterday, you probably feel a lot better about it if Jordan Lawlar is in there and those guys are getting a day off, because you're replacing an offensive player with another great offensive player with the way Lawlar's been hitting down in the minor league level. So he's going to play most days. They did not call him up to be a bench piece where he plays 1 day a week and he's a pinch hitter off the bench late. That is not why he was called up. He was called up to play every single day. He's going to move around. He's going to show his versatility. And hopefully, for his sake, he can get off to a hot start with the bat, because I think that will help him with the adjustment of moving around and playing at different positions every day, which he's already doing down at Reno. But at the big league level, well, it's a little bit of a different beast. It's a little bit of a different animal. So very excited, looking forward to tonight, hoping he's in the lineup as they start this 3-game set with the Giants. You would anticipate Ketel Marte back in there at second base. So if he's going to play anywhere tonight, it's either going to be short or it's going to be third, would be my guess when we see in the lineup, if we see him in there tonight. 480-864-1060 is the phone number. Oh, look at this. John says, my mistake. I now see a call from Evan. Do we have music for this? Do we have music for John to issue an apology? I may have
both feet on the ground. Stand by what I said.
That's okay. I think I have music for this. I don't know what this is, everybody. This is titled Days of Our Lives. I don't know why it's titled this. No, that was an audio clip. So this isn't even. I thought I had like sad, like soap opera music that John could use as an apology, but I don't have anything. But he is apologizing for the mistake that he made. And
thank you, John.
Yeah, there you go. 480-864-1060 is the phone number if you want to join us here today on the program. When we come back, he could be sort of kind of considering all of his options. What does it mean for the Phoenix Suns? That's next on the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Judas Priest and Alice Cooper. No more, Mr. Nice Guy. The Metal Gods, Judas Priest. The Godfather of Shock Rock, Alice Cooper. October 22nd, Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater with special guest, Corrosion of Conformity. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Presented by 100.7 KSLX, part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lerner & Rowe, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900. 977-1900.
I've had a number of surgeries, and frankly, I don't have time to rehab a surgery and an operation at this point in my life. I didn't want to take time off my kids' activities.
That's why former college and pro football player Bobby Carpenter turned to QC Kinetics. We couldn't be happier saving our patients like him from operating rooms and long recoveries.
They will resume like normal activity for me, which is a lot of running. It's a lot of workouts. I've been very, very blessed with how it's been able to hold up.
For so long, patients have accepted surgery as the only solution. But with new technologies, the medical professionals at QC Kinetics use regenerative treatments, your body's own biologics, to help heal and restore knees, hips, shoulders, and backs.
I actually ran into a friend of mine over at our golf course, and he had his knee done. It felt so well. He'd got his shoulder done. He goes, I can't thank you enough. He'd heard the commercial on the air, and so it's feeling great.
Find out how you can avoid surgery and finally get relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 602-837-PAIN. That's 602-837-PAIN. 602-837-PAIN.
Hello, this is Jan at Toyota.
Hi, Jan. Is now a good time to get a new Toyota for summer?
It is. We like to say your summer starts here at your Toyota dealer.
Yeah, I'm a pet sitter and business is way up as people enjoy their new Toyotas.
Your summer starts here.
Oh, that's the Walker's pet parrot, Mr. Knowles.
That's me.
They packed up their new Corolla and took a trip to a national park.
Well, through June 2nd, everyone can join in on the summer fun with a great selection of Camrys, 4Runners, and more.
Yeah, the Johnsons strapped a canoe onto their new Grand Highlander and went out to the lake.
Shh, quiet, Lou.
And Mark and Sarah loaded their gear into their Tundra and went scuba diving. Oh, no, stop. Sebastian, Goldie is not dinner.
Fish for dinner.
No, stop.
This is bad.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Good luck.
Your summer starts here.
That's right, Mr. Knowles. Summer starts here at your Toyota dealer with a new Toyota, but it all ends June 2nd. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details.
Toyota, let's go places.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
If you're listening on the app or you're streaming us on the KDUS 1060 website, listen for your chance to win 4 tickets to the Diamondbacks when they take on the Rockies Saturday, May 17th at Chase Field. Get there early to pick up the replica home jersey at the game and stick around afterwards for an awesome post-game fireworks show. You can get your tickets at dbacks.com/SGT, but we're giving away a 4-pack. Got to be listening on the app or you'd be streaming us on the website and you're logged in and you're registered while you are listening. That is what you have to do in order to be entered, so you can do that over either on the app or on the website. We got a brand new segment we're debuting here in about, 10 minutes from now. Buy or sell. 5 topics put together by producer Evan, and I'm going to react to them. I'm going to either buy them or sell them, like the stock market per se. So 5 topics. I don't know what's coming. We'll get to that to close out hour number 1 of the program here in just a second. But some NBA news this morning that broke. Sort of news, right? Let's temper the expectations on what this news is if you haven't seen it already. But this morning, Shams Charania was on Get Up with ESPN and shared that for the first time in his career, Giannis is considering all options, and one of those options includes playing out the remainder of his career outside of Milwaukee. The key part of this reporting is it is the first time that he is considering leaving Milwaukee. We've been doing this song and dance for the last couple of off seasons with Giannis since they won the title. And there's always been this looming cloud of, can he still win another title there in Milwaukee with the state of their roster? And there's always been a question of, is he going to have to go elsewhere in order to win? And so that has led us to today where he may finally be starting to see it the way other people have seen it. Now, I saw some commentary out there about this not being news, and I'm going to push back on that because, yes, we in the sports media space, or as we call it before the show, do some mass communication. You speculate at times. You look for any type of breadcrumb and you try to pull on that thread a little bit, as small or as big as that thread is. And sometimes you pull on a thread that's really, really small and you make it into something that it isn't. This is something. It is something for the mindset of Giannis to go from, I'm not considering leaving Milwaukee, to now all of a sudden at least considering it. Nobody is reporting today that Giannis is leaving Milwaukee. Nobody is reporting today, nor should they be reporting today, that Giannis has asked out of Milwaukee. That is not true. It is still more likely than not that Giannis stays in Milwaukee, but it is a notable mindset shift if he is, for the first time, not my words, Shams Charania's words today on Get Up talking about this. Him saying that it is the first time that he is considering other options outside of Milwaukee and at least giving it thought. That changes things. Does it guarantee anything? Absolutely not. Does it mean that he's going to be in Houston next season or San Antonio or Brooklyn or New York or LA? Doesn't mean any of those teams are going to land Giannis. Again, right now, if you asked me, I would say it is a greater than 50% chance that he stays in Milwaukee. Do you know how difficult it would be to trade for a superstar like Giannis? Do you know how difficult it would be to make sure all of that works contracts-wise and that Milwaukee gets back a fair return? So the most likely outcome is he considers it for the first time, but you know what? He's just not ready to do that yet. He's going to stick it out for one more year. But this is important. This mindset shift is important because it impacts the Phoenix Suns and their pursuit of a Kevin Durant trade. Because what did we say when after the season was over? In fact, it was while they were still one game away from elimination, everybody started pointing fingers and wondering aloud if Giannis was done in Milwaukee. Before they were eliminated in the first round, those conversations were already happening. And now we get the reporting that he's considering it. Why is this a bad thing for the Phoenix Suns? Why is this important for the Phoenix Suns? Because if Giannis is available, and if teams now hear, which they did today, that he is at least considering, thinking about it, pondering playing someplace else next season, do you think Houston's going to wait to see what's going on in Milwaukee with Giannis? You betcha. Do you think San Antonio is going to want to wait and see if they can get Giannis with their young players in the picks that they have? You betcha. It is going to grind the Kevin Durant market to a halt because everybody that is interested in Kevin Durant is going to first make the phone call to Milwaukee to get the younger, better player that gives their franchise a larger, longer runway to try and win a championship. So it's going to slow things down for the Phoenix Suns. It is going to slow things to a crawl because you can call up Houston. Houston's going to be like, we got to wait to see what's going on with Giannis. You can call up San Antonio. San Antonio's going to tell you, yeah, it's a fair deal. We would be interested, but we're going to circle back. There's not going to be a commitment level because players like Giannis don't come around very often. See, Milwaukee is going to potentially get the fortunes that Dallas didn't, because when they made Luka Doncic available, they just talked to the Lakers. They didn't open it up to let everybody bid. If Giannis is available and this interest is more public than the Luka interest, then you're going to get more teams in that bidding war. You're going to get more teams involved. And so it's just going to slow things down for the Phoenix Suns. But we have always said that there is a good thing that can come from this. The good thing that can come from this for the Phoenix Suns is if teams dip their toe in the water on Giannis and their fan bases hear that they've dipped their toe in the water for Giannis and they swing and miss, it's going to be a push to make sure you do something. And could that fallback plan be trading for Kevin Durant to where the Suns get some more teams interested than maybe we originally thought? Because I'll tell you, after Shams made this report this morning, I saw another report saying that Giannis is apparently, and again, we don't know how true any of these things are right now. We are very early on in this. But I saw a report this morning that Giannis is apparently intrigued by the idea of playing in a state that does not have an income tax. And Houston, San Antonio, in Texas, there's no state income tax. And so those are the two teams we have soft circled for the Suns for potential KD destinations. We've talked about Miami. Guess what? Florida doesn't have a state income tax. The taxes there are great. So could Pat Riley, remember, he's not running it back, right? So producer Evan told us on Friday, Pat Riley says not running it back.
The Heat will not be running it back.
The Heat will not be running it back. The Heat, you got to do something. Will be doing something this summer to make their roster better. Now, Kevin Durant is what we talked about on Friday, but could it be Giannis? This is just going to slow things down for the Suns for a little bit. They are going to have to, Brian Gregory is going to have to show a little bit of patience. We've said don't overplay your hand, don't underplay your hand. This is the first test in making sure you don't do either of those things. Because this is a story that's not going to go away until there's a declarative statement from Giannis of, I'm going somewhere, I'm not going somewhere. It is going to gum up the works for a little bit for the Phoenix Suns and their Kevin Durant trade. It can become a positive, but right now it is a huge blow. It is a huge negative to the Suns getting a jump start on what they want to do in the offseason, because I think everything now is going to funnel through Milwaukee. It's going to funnel through Giannis until he makes a decision on what his future is going to look like. When we come back, wrapping up hour number one of the program, a little buy or sell, 5 topics, some local, some national. We're going to buy or sell those topics next. It's the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh, my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Nitro Circus is back with the all-new Off the Rails Tour. World-class daredevils and FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and more. Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, and never-been-done showdowns. Friday, December 5th, Desert Diamond Arena. Visit Ticketmaster.com.
Stars are shining down on Goldberg and Osborne. The Eagle has more than 2,200 five-star Google reviews from across Arizona. Like these.
They go that extra mile to let you know they care. A wonderful experience.
They treat their clients like family, and their professionalism is the best in the business.
They made sure I got a great offer. Like a bulldog, they fought for me.
Well said, everyone. After any accident, remember, the bird is the word. Visit Goldberg and Osborne at 1-800-THEEAGLE.com.
The Memorial Day Mega Sale is on at Little Dealer Little Prices. Take off your summer adventure with a new Forest River Westbrook from $13,995, featuring better quality, better features, and unbeatable value. Veterans, active duty military, and first responders receive a free candy package with purchase as our way of saying thank you. Enjoy zero markups on freight and prep fees and shop with confidence thanks to fast, easy financing. These deals won't last. Visit littledealer.com today. Discount valid on in-stock RVs. Camping package for eligible buyers. Do not combine mobile with other offers. See dealer for details. Ends May 31st, 2025.
When it comes to your electric bill, saving energy means saving money. That's why SRP offers many ways to help you cut costs and boost comfort. From rebates and discounts that can save you thousands of dollars, to expert insights that can help make your home more energy efficient. SRP has tools and programs that give you many ways to save. Explore your options today at srp.net/savings. That's srp.net/savings.
Fulton Homes is bringing legendary Fulton quality back to the West Valley. Explore 4 exceptional West Valley locations with more standard features and thousands of ways to personalize your home. Find out why people buy Fulton Homes over and over again. Fulton Homes, you're proud to own, we're proud to build.
ASU baseball continues here on KDUS AM 1060. Join the Sun Devils as they look to face off against Grand Canyon University. ASU knows that every game counts as they start the final week of the regular season and are ready to give it their all against the Lopes. The voice of the Sun Devils, Tim Healy, will have the call live. It's ASU versus GCU this Tuesday night. Pregame at 6:15 p.m. and first pitch at 6:30 right here on KDUS AM 1060 and online at KDUS1060.com/Sun Devils.
All right. Brand new segment here on the program. We'll see how well it goes. We had a successful Friday with Take Fridays.
We did. So far, so good on the new segments.
So we're just like, you know what? Let's just keep this train rolling. Now, Little Birdie told me you did speak to John.
I did speak to John.
We've cleared the air. Everything's okay?
We got John's info. We're going to be sending him his gift card.
So you and John...
John's very excited to get it. I think John and I are on real good terms.
Okay, that was really what... I knew we were going to get the gift card sent out to John because we have John's phone number so we could get that at any time. I just want to make sure the relationship between you... Because you and Paul had that little...
But then I feel like Paul and I really, we're in a good spot too after Take Friday.
Okay. You have more of beef with the listeners than I do, and I don't know.
I don't know if I do.
You've only been here a month, and you've created some feuds already?
I didn't. I feel like the Paul one, that probably more on me, but John called me out when I accidentally hung up on him. I feel like John started that one.
But again, still beef that you have with the listener. I don't have any beefs with the listeners of the program.
I think you have a little beef with Paul.
And Paul, I think it's just good banter between Paul and I. I think that's what it is. All right, buy or sell. I've got music for this, I think. Let me make sure my buttons work here. I've got music for this. Yeah, we've got some buy or sell music. 5 topics that producer Evan has put together. I am buying or selling these topics. And if this goes well, we'll make this a recurring close to hour number 1 of the program. So producer Evan, you have 5 topics that you want me to react to, and I'm buying or selling them. So the show is all yours, my friend. Take it away.
Heisman odds came out this weekend.
Okay.
Sam Levitt, 11th, plus 3,100. I think he's the best value bet.
So I'm buying or selling Sam Levitt's Heisman odds, meaning what I want to hop on board or not hop on board.
Yes.
You said 11th overall, plus 3,100?
10 to win, $310.
Yeah, I'm sprinkling a little bit. Buy. I'm buying this. I think... I know Cam Scadaboo got all of the national love last year, right? And rightly so. Dude's a monster. Super excited to see him in New York, what he's going to be able to do there with the Giants. But I think people just ignored, not purposefully, they just ignored Sam Levitt. It's a young quarterback. He wasn't a guy that was draft eligible. And so all of the attention went to Scadaboo, the transfer, who was kind of willing the team to victory. I think people just didn't watch the raw tools of Sam Levitt on display. Go back and watch that Texas game. The plays that he makes in that game to help them is incredible.
He's got, for a young kid, he is elite pocket presence at that age, a cannon of an arm. He can run, he can move. Really excited to see what they do in this offense. I think they're going to throw it around the yard a little more too.
And I think without Scadaboo, you're going to see that skill set that he had last year that he showed the flashes of. You're going to see it on a bigger stage. So this, I would agree with you. It's incredible value. So I would buy these odds at plus 3,100.
Diamondbacks need to make a trade for a reliever before the end of the month.
I mean, do I have I mean, I don't know if I have a sound effect that would approve of this more. I don't know. Maybe this one.
Bang, bang, bang.
I don't know. I'm just pushing buttons over here. Absolutely. I mean, I know at some point this team is going to get back AJ Puck and they're going to get back Justin Martinez. I get it. Right? They're going to get those 2 guys back, at least hopefully, in Puck's case, but it seems like J Mart's coming back sooner rather than later. But I still think they're going to need another arm. Shelby Miller was not brought here to be in the role that he is in. Kevin Ginkel is probably the 3rd best relief option. He's more of your 7th inning guy. And Joel Mantiply's been up and down, hasn't done a whole lot. Castillo has been up and down, hasn't done a whole lot. I know Kendall Graveman had a locker there on Sundays traveling with the team to the Giants, so he'll probably be there as well. But I'll be honest, I don't trust a lot of this bullpen right now. So I know Kendall Graveman has a bunch of major league experience, but am I really going to trust anybody at this point? Even when Puck and J-Mart come back, am I going to trust these guys? No. So, yeah, by the end of the month, I know that's a little harsh, but I would be making phone calls right now. You already pushed one button, right? You pushed that button yesterday into today. You want to just kickstart your offense a little bit? Jordan Lawlar's up. So Mike Hazen probably should be working the phone, so I'm buying this one as well.
Jordan Lawlar will take over as the full-time third baseman by the All-Star break.
Jordan Lawlar, full-time third baseman by the All-Star break. Jordan Lawlar, full-time third baseman, All-Star break. I'll sell this. Here's why I'll sell this. I think they're going to really embrace their ability to bring Lawlar along slowly. When they called him up 2 years ago, they were in the middle of a playoff race. They just threw him out there. And I think they learned from that. And I think he learned from that. And with Suarez now in the fold, with Perdomo at short, with Marte healthy at second base, you don't have to force the issue. Jordan Lawlar can be your Swiss Army knife. You can move him around, put him in different spots, and you're also not putting a ton of pressure on him where every single day he's in the lineup, hitting third or fourth, needing to contribute. And so I think they're going to be really, really patient with this kid. He's 23 years old. He's going to be their full-time starting third baseman next year. They're not bringing back Eugenio Suarez. And so I think they called him up. I think they're going to take a nice, slow, and steady approach. So I will sell Lawlar being the full-time third baseman by the All-Star break.
We talked about his flexibility too, so could move him around. We might see him more and more by the time we get to the All-Star break, but maybe not full-time third baseman.
And I think that flexibility lends him to not be in one spot this season. Long-term, you're starting third baseman. But right now, this year, with this current roster makeup, his best tool and trait for this team is his ability to give everybody a blow.
Giannis gets traded to either Houston or San Antonio. We talked about him possibly getting moved last segment. Houston or San Antonio are the options here.
I'm going to sell this because I'm going to play the math. He's either going to stay in Milwaukee or I'll take the field if he gets traded. I know there's a report that he's intrigued by playing in a state with no income tax, and Texas and Florida are two teams at the top of that list, and Houston and San Antonio have been rumored to be in the Kevin Durant sweepstakes. So it's easy to just extend that out and say, of course you would be interested in Giannis. But right now, I am not going to take today's reporting and assume he's wanting out. The reporting today from Shams Charania is for the first time in his career, he's at least considering all of his options. That's all it is right now. And so right now, until I gain more information, I'm going to sell that Giannis gets traded to either Houston or San Antonio.
Plus, the Heat aren't running it back.
You got to do something.
You got to do something this offseason. Maybe it's Giannis. All right, last one here. If the Cavs are eliminated in 5 by the Pacers after kind of getting pushed around in this series, is it time to blow it up?
Oh, that was not where I thought you were going to go with that. Blow it up. So you're saying, this is what you're saying. We are going to have some of those tough conversations.
I think if you get come in and get embarrassed like they have by the Pacers.
Embarrassed?
Schmammered. Then this is time to blow it up.
I got to tell you, for Cleveland, it's been a lot of
schmammered.
And not in the good way.
No.
You're not doing that to Indiana. Indiana
schmammered
is doing it to you. It has not been a good look. Blow it up? You trading Donovan Mitchell? That's what do you?
Let's trade Donovan Mitchell.
I don't think they'll do that. So I'm going to sell this because I think instead of blowing it up, I think there's going to be an addition. You want to talk? I know Milwaukee would never do this, but you want to talk? If I get eliminated right now, I'm trying to add Giannis to Donovan Mitchell immediately.
That'd be insane.
So I don't know if I'm blowing it up. Again, to your point,
schmammered.
It has not been good for for Cleveland. It's been all Indiana in this series. Blow it up. I don't think they'll do that. I think instead there will be a doubling down and an adding.
Yeah, I don't disagree. It's been so bad. Like, this has been bad. Then I thought there was a chance Pacers could win this series. And they've gone out and flat out embarrassed them.
You win the first 2 games on the road in Cleveland. I think that shocked us all. Cleveland hadn't lost a ton at home all season.
And what they did to him last night was embarrassing. Schmammered.
You don't need to say it. We already have it.
Schmammered.
You don't need to say it again. We have it immortalized on the soundboard.
Schmammered.
We're good. First edition of Buy or Sell in the books. I think that went well.
I thought so too.
We had fun. See what the listeners have to say about that. See if we'll bring that back tomorrow. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. When we come back, hour number 2. Can the Diamondbacks win with their current bullpen? That's next on the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
School's out and soccer is in. Celebrate the end of the school year with Phoenix Rising on Friday, May 17th at 7 p.m. as they take on Monterey Bay at home. It's the perfect way to kick off summer, and every fan gets a free Phoenix Rising tote bag at the gates while supplies last. Tickets start at just $15. Grab yours now at phxrisingfc.com. Class dismissed. Let the celebration begin.
The legacy continues. Pantera. The heaviest tour of the summer. What did you say? Tearing up Talking Sick Resort Amphitheater, August 26th. With Amon Amarth. On sale now at LiveNation.com. Part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
Connect directly, bid confidently. At Purple Wave Auction, transparency is key. With no reserves and no hidden surprises, you're connected directly to sellers so you can inspect and bid on quality equipment with confidence. Whether you're looking for ag, construction, or fleet equipment, we're here to ensure a clear, hassle-free experience. Register today at purplewave.com and start bidding with peace of mind. Purple Wave Auction, the easiest and most straightforward way to buy and sell equipment.
Did you know that Harrah's Auction Casino is your key to nationwide fun? That's right. You'll unlock perks at more than 50 destinations from coast to coast at your local home for Caesars Rewards. Free dining in Atlantic City? Yes. Free slot play in Maricopa? You bet. Free hotel stays in New Orleans? Oh, yeah. What are you waiting for? Harrah's Auction Casino. Play for all. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700 or 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Visit the Caesars Reward Center for details.
Dive into summer style and savings during the Memorial Day event at Living Spaces. Enjoy cozy lounging with sofas starting at $350, easy resting with queen beds starting at $195, and special meals with dining sets starting at $295. You'll even find outdoor sets for alfresco fun starting at $595. Plus, pay no interest for 24 months on select purchases with your good credit and enjoy free shipping as soon as next day. Celebrate the start of summer and shop the Memorial Day event only at Living Spaces.
Living Spaces.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Hour number 2 of the lunch break. Chris Schubert here with you. We got one more hour. Hand things off to Jim Rome. You know, I didn't start the program by asking producer Evan if he had a good weekend. That's how we always start the Monday program. We talk about our weekends. You told me a story earlier today about something that happened to one of your buddies. I think that this is the perfect on-air story.
It's great. So we go to Buffalo Chip, like out in Cave Creek. And so they doing the rodeo on Friday night. And we have a friend with some family in town, and her little sister does bull riding.
I don't want to say professional, but at least knows what she's doing.
She's done it before.
Expert may be too strong of a word, but understands what's going on.
Yes. And their family grew up on a ranch.
Okay. So we've been around the block a couple times. We know what we're doing.
We understand what we're doing. Anyway, so then our buddy goes, I could do that.
So your stupid friend decided to say, you know what? I can do this. And this is not, I've seen the video. You showed me the video in the morning meeting. This is not a mechanical bull. This isn't like when you go out with your friends into Scottsdale or into downtown Gilbert and there's the mechanical bull and you're like, oh, that's fun. No, this was
a bull.
A real bull, to the point that your friend had to sign what you described as a waiver that was like 50 pages long.
Yes, about all the injuries that could happen and everything else under the sun. So, yeah, he had to sign like a 50-page waiver and give him $60, and they were going to let him on the bull.
So not only did he have to sign a waiver in case he got seriously hurt, he then had to pay for this opportunity.
Yes, but if you get 8 seconds, you get you win.
So this is like
money.
So this is like one of those challenges when you go to the restaurant, the 48-ounce steak,
yes,
the 4 baked potatoes, all the sides, you eat it all in under 30 minutes, your meal is free. $60. If you last 8 seconds on the bull, you're fine. Free bull ride for you.
So anyway, so he gets on the bull, and impressive. He probably gets 2 to 3 seconds.
You showed me the video, right? You showed me the video, and I, not an expert in this, I was impressed that he lasted as long as he did. Now, it was not very long. He did not make it the 8 seconds, but I thought for sure the moment the bull was let into the little the ring, whatever you want to call it,
the octagon, whatever.
I thought he was immediately getting thrown off. There were 2 bumps that he survived. It was okay. The third one he got thrown right off.
And so he gets out of there, and his arm is pinned to his chest, and we're like, oh no. And so sure enough, he's like, yeah, my wrist hurts me a little. We're like, okay, like all right, it'll be fine, dude. You probably landed on it. Next day, we see it. I'm like, oh, that's broken, dude. You got to go to an urgent care. I get a text Sunday morning, broken. Story's worth it.
So I had a urgent care hospital visit over the weekend. My daughter was playing. We had a softball tournament that we were playing in. Last game, championship game. She hurts her hip. Turns around, says she feels it pop. That's never good. So I was like, all right, to the emergency room we go. Ended up not being broken or fractured, just very, very sore, just a really bad hip strain. It's really limited her ability to walk over the last couple of days. But we won the championship. They did not. They won.
You get a ring.
You get it. We got a ring, and so the injury was worth it. But so you had a buddy go down with a wrist injury. My daughter almost broke her hip trying to grind it out for a championship in softball over the weekend.
One probably more worth it than the other.
I mean,
one wasn't as spur of the moment, like, I'm going to get on a bull.
I'll tell you what we have in the house. We have the hardware to back up the hard work. There's no hardware for your buddy based on the 2.5 seconds
they did
on the ball.
With the $60 comes, a professional photographer to take pictures of you while you're on the bull.
Oh, so you get something out of the deal.
So he gets a framed picture of him on the bull.
So when was this?
This was Friday night.
So Friday night, while the Diamondbacks bullpen was absolutely...
No, I watched the Ohtani home run and then had to run in to see him get on this bull.
So Friday was a roller coaster ride or a bull ride for the Arizona Diamondbacks as they made a huge comeback in the game and then took the lead on Friday before the bullpen once again can add another game to the list. We've been keeping track of these games throughout the course of the season. The games that this bullpen has directly given up. And while the way the game started, you weren't anticipating it being a game for the bullpen to be in a position to win or lose. Credit to the Diamondbacks offensively. Credit to Christian Mena for coming up and pitching those 3 2/3 innings to keep the game right where it was, to allow the Diamondbacks to scratch and claw. They had the big inning with the grand slam that tied the game. They then took the lead. They tacked on the insurance runs, and you're thinking to yourself, we're going to steal one. Absolute thievery. Theft. Location, Chase Field. Victim, Los Angeles Dodgers. You were going to steal that game from them Friday night. And it was Kevin Ginkel's opportunity. It had been his opportunity as of late to be the closer, and let's just call it what it was. Kevin Ginkel did not have it on Friday night. Didn't have it. Didn't have his A stuff, didn't have his B stuff, didn't have his C stuff. Did not have closer material. And that's kind of been the theme right now for this Diamondbacks bullpen. They don't have reliable, trustworthy arms down there in the bullpen. Do you trust Shelby Miller right now? Do you trust Kevin Ginkel right now? Think about what this says. The next day, Corbin Burnes gives you 7 excellent innings. And we're going to talk about how great of a start that was later on in this hour of the program. In fact, 25 minutes from now, we'll have that conversation. You get 7 great innings from Corbin Burnes. And what does Torrey do? He goes to Ryan Nelson for 2 innings, 6 outs to lock it up on Saturday to win. Not any of the other high leverage arms. That's not the designed spot for Ryan Nelson. They want Ryan Nelson in bulk. They want Ryan Nelson to continue to be stretched out. But this is the state of this bullpen where you don't have anybody that you trust, to where you asked Ryan Nelson to give you multi-outs, multi-innings, a 6-out appearance to hold down the lead for Corbin Burns, because you used a lot of guys the night before. Kevin Ginkel didn't have it. You want to try to save some of your arms, and you just don't trust anybody. So it was Ryan Nelson's turn. His name got drawn out of the hat. How can we expect this team, 21-20, starting this series tonight against the San Francisco Giants, hovering around 500? How are we to expect this team right now to win enough baseball games to stay relevant if we don't trust anybody to get the final 3 outs? I don't trust anybody to get these final 3 outs on a consistent enough basis. You cannot blow leads like the other night. I don't care that you were out of the game and then you were back in the game. You have to win that game. When you take that lead, when you're up 11-8, you have to win that game. You shared a stat with me in the morning meeting today, producer Evan, that the Diamondbacks 3 times in their history, they've played 237 games where they've scored 11 runs or more. Their record in those games, 234-3. 2 of those 3 games have come this season.
In one of them, they scored 10 runs in an inning.
Because the Cubs game was the other game that they lost, right?
Yep.
So the Cubs game earlier this season, and now this one on Friday night against the Dodgers. 3 times in the franchise's history, when scoring 11 runs or more, they have lost the game. 3 times. 2 of them have been this season. You can't have that. You can't blow those games. You can't give those games away. You can't have a bullpen that you have zero trust in. You don't have a single guy right now when that door swings open that allows us as fans to breathe a sigh of relief and go, oh, okay, this person's got it. In fact, the door swings open and you're like, here we go. What bad's going to happen tonight?
The most confident this weekend, I was in Ryan Nelson. And that alone is saying something.
Well, yeah, what does that say? That the most confident that we had over the weekend was the long man spot starter in a role that he's not supposed to be in. Ryan Nelson, no offense to Ryan Nelson, his stuff is great. Ryan Nelson's not supposed to be the 8th and 9th inning guy for the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's not his designed role in this bullpen.
Never has been, never will be.
But that's where they're at as a team. That's where they're at. So Kendall Graveman is going to get called up and he's going to join this bullpen. They haven't made that roster move official yet. That's going to come at some point. So they're going to add Kendall Graveman. They're going to maybe get A.J. Puck back here soon. They're going to maybe get Justin Martinez back here soon. Right now, this is a baseball team that is always going to be hovering around 500. They're going to have a lot of series like we saw over the weekend where when they look great, it looks awesome. They look like they can take on anybody. But when it looks bad because they don't have a bullpen that can hold on to a lead. And I don't think Kendall Graveman fixes this. I don't know if A.J. Puck and Justin Martinez coming back fixes this. It makes it better. But it's not like Justin Martinez, when he was back with this team previously, was looking great. A.J. Puck was giving up home runs. Those guys are going to lengthen your bullpen, and those are the guys, if we had to pick guys that we trusted, we had Justin Martinez in the circle of trust. We had him in there. He was the only member of the bullpen that we felt comfortable putting in there. And then the fatigue, the sitting for 6 days, the velocity dipping down, them not really knowing what's going on, no structural damage in the MRI, in the imaging, nothing. They cannot figure out what exactly is ailing him. He's throwing. He's starting to ramp back up. Hopefully it's just a case of some really serious fatigue or dead arm, and it's going to be as good as new. It's just going to be a little blip on the radar. But every single person right now in this bullpen has just given it up at one point or another. Jalen Beeks, Ryan Thompson, Shelby Miller, Kevin Ginkel, both of those guys just within the last week. They don't have the guys that I trust. They don't have the guys that you trust to get those final 3 outs. Now, I don't know what type of moves you can make here in May. I've said that they should probably look to do something by the end of the month. Maybe they're comfortable getting Graven back, giving Ginkel some more time to get acclimated coming off of the injury, Justin Martinez coming back, Puck potentially being right around the corner. All of that maybe buys them a little bit of time. But I'm here to tell you, this cannot wait until July 31st. This cannot. If this continues to slide, if this bullpen continues to cough up leads, if they continue to be an absolute albatross, Friday night was an absolute dumpster fire. You got to do something. That's where we're at with this bullpen right now. They are at a point where they are going to run out of internal options to try. Kendall Graveman, coming back from the injury that he suffered in spring, is really one of the last guys they have available that they haven't tried yet. And then after that, all you're going to have left is external options. And it's early to think about that in May, but you could watch your season slip through your fingers if you continue to hover just around 500. They are 21-20 going into tonight's series with the Giants. If you continue to just hover around 500, the Dodgers are going to leave you in the rearview mirror. The Giants are going to leave you in the rearview mirror. The Padres are going to leave you in the rearview mirror. The Mets, the Phillies, the Cubs, they're going to leave you in the rearview mirror. You cannot have a bullpen that just coughs up lead after lead. 2 blown saves in 1 week by 2 different guys. Shelby blew one last Sunday. Friday night, less than a week later, it was Kevin Ginkel's turn. Your 2 guys that you are flipping back and forth with to be your potential stopgap closer in the same week both gave up a blown save. You lost 2 games this week that you should have had in your back pocket. You did win the game against Philly, I should say. You won that game. You didn't lose it, but 2 blown saves in a week. The one that Shelby had was with 2 outs. You have to find some consistency. You have to find reliable, trustworthy arms down there, or else, guess what? You're going to have more games like Philly last Sunday where Shelby or Ginkel or whoever's in there blows the lead and you don't win it in extras. You don't find a way to push across a couple of runs in the late innings to win those games. And you're going to have a lot more nights like Friday. 6 runs in the 9th inning. 6 runs. You had a 3-run lead. You let them put up a 6 spot on you. You cannot give games away like that. Add that to the list. The growing list of games the bullpen has given away this season. You can add that one, and guess what? You put it at the top. Put it number 1 with a bullet. That is where that game belongs.
Over, under Cubs game?
It's over the Cubs game. That's number 1.
Okay.
Because of the opponent, because of what it would have meant, because of what you did the night before, because of what you did during that game, the grind, the offense worked so hard to win that, to try to win that game, and they did. That's like Kurt Warner walking off the field with the lead in the Super Bowl, and then the defense gives it up. That is what you saw on Friday night. Cannot have that happen. So number 1 on the list right now, the worst loss of the season is that game, blowing that lead against the Dodgers. You could have gone into the rest of the weekend with 2 wins against the Dodgers in your back pocket. Instead, you had to scratch and claw on Saturday to make sure that you saved the series split, and then you were non-competitive yesterday in the finale. The phone number, 480-864-1060. If you want to join us here, we've also got you on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel, and you can watch us on Twitter as well. When we come back, one Cardinal said that he feels like this team has no ceiling in 2025. Is he right? It's next on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Feeling uneasy about your financial future? You need a partner that helps lighten the load. Welcome to Global Credit Union. It means early payday, your paycheck up to 3 days early with direct deposit, accounts with no NSF fees, and a mobile app with tools to help you manage your family budget. At Global, we take member care seriously with branches near you and a 24/7 US-based call center staffed by real people. Join us at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union.
Hosier presents the Unreal Unearthed Tour 2025, live in Phoenix. Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater, October 7th. With special guest, Amble. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The #1 album, Unreal Unearthed, is available everywhere. For more, visit hosier.com.
Summer's almost here, and that means swimsuits, pool parties, and walks on the beach. For the confidence to look your very best, come to Red Mountain Weight Loss. At Red Mountain, our expert doctors will help maximize your results from brand name medications like Wegovy and Zepbound. Another option is our signature medication, RM3. RM3 helps you lose up to 20 pounds a month while melting inches from your belly, hips, and thighs. This patented medication is available only by prescription, and you can only get it at Red Mountain Weight Loss. For over 30 years, Red Mountain has been the trusted leader in medical weight loss. Our doctors deliver safe, effective solutions tailored to your needs. Red Mountain has helped over 1 million patients lose weight safely, and they can help you too. Lose weight and look great just in time for summer at Red Mountain Weight Loss. Go to redmountainweightloss.com. That's redmountainweightloss.com. Red Mountain Weight Loss. Real doctors, real results.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Growth in the NBA doesn't always come in the form of blowouts or highlight reel moments. Sometimes it looks like grit, composure, winning a game you might have lost a year ago. That's what we saw from Oklahoma City in Game 4. The youngest team in the league went toe-to-toe with the former champ and three-time MVP in Nikola Jokic. They didn't blink. The same Thunder team that got bounced in the second round last postseason by a veteran Mavericks team now finds itself looking much more seasoned, much more confident, far more dangerous. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander didn't have his flashiest night, but 9 of his 25 points came in the fourth quarter, right when his team needed those the most. And just as important, OKC hit timely shots, made smart decisions, and matched Denver's physicality. It wasn't a statement win because of the margin. It was a statement win because of the maturity. The Thunder might be young. They're no longer inexperienced. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. If you played pickleball in regular sneakers, you know you can pay the price. They don't cut it. And Todd found this out the hard way. We have this great sponsor, Tyrell. They make the best pickleball shoes. So one day Todd is playing pickleball and he forgot his Tyrell pickleball shoes. Well, you know what happened? He got hurt. He was playing in some fancy different shoes that aren't meant for pickleball, and he learned a lesson. Tyrell has everything you need to keep your feet cool. They're tough, they're lightweight, they're so solid on your feet, and you're going to wear and tear on the court, and they're ready to go. Every detail is built to help you play better. Tyrell pickleball shoes. If you want to play longer, feel better, and stop sliding around in those old sneakers, go to TyrellPickleball.com. You can look like a pro. You can play like a pro. It's Tyrell pickleball shoes. You spell it Tyrol. Tyrell pickleball shoes, the best pickleball shoes. Purpose-built for pickleball.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on KTUS AM 1060 and on the KTUS 1060 app.
Already starting to get some of the leaks for the 2025 NFL schedule. We got an announcement today. The first game of the season, that Thursday night game on NBC, is going to be the Eagles taking on the Cowboys, and all throughout the rest of the week in the lead up to the schedule release, we'll start to get some of these nationally televised games. I think it is Thursday where we will be playing the win-loss game here on the program. Our official, locked in, can't change them, season predictions for what the Cardinals' final record is going to be for 2025.
What if we have an injury, major injury in camp? Can't change them?
I don't know.
What if they add a veteran receiver? Can't change him?
Man, I'd love to change them if they added a veteran wide receiver. We'll play that by ear. I don't know. I think we're going to lock it in, and then maybe we'll allow one. How about this? You're allowed one change.
You can flip one game.
No. You can change your prediction one time.
Okay.
After we said it this week before the start of the regular season, but that's it. It's one time.
I like it.
You only get to do it once. So we're doing that a little bit later on this week, and we'll know more about the schedule. But despite the schedule, we know who they're going to play. We just don't know the order in which they're going to play. And despite not knowing that, there is somebody who thinks that the ceiling for this Cardinals team is, well, it's limitless. Mack Wilson was ahead of his charity basketball game this past Saturday. And he said, quote, "I feel like we have no ceiling," end quote. We have spent time on this show talking about the expectations surrounding this team in 2025. And an 8-win year last year, year 2 jump for Marvin Harrison Jr., a softer division than normal, continuity across the board, a better roster defensively, all of the improvements that this team has made, all of the reasons to be optimistic about this team. And playoffs are the mandate. No questions about it. This team has to make the playoffs. They can't miss the playoffs and sell us that things are going in the right direction. These first 2 years have gone according to plan. You've been given the space to make all of these moves, to make this team better, and you've done a great job. Now is the time to see the fruits of that labor, and that should be a playoff game. Now, I have been very consistent on this. I don't think it needs a playoff win. I know there are others out there that need to see Kyler Murray win a big game. Context is king. I got to see who they play. Is it on the road? Is it a home game? How closely competitive is the game? All of those reasons to why I won't say they have to win a playoff game. Do they have to be playing wild card weekend? You betcha. You betcha. And so Mack Wilson saying that they have no ceiling is the type of stuff I want to hear from a player on a team that we expect to make the playoffs, that we think need to make the playoffs. But boy, is it just adding more bulletin board material that this team is setting those expectations high? They better meet them. Because if you don't, the Kyler Murray questions will be there. But more importantly, I think you're going to ask questions about the GM, about the coach, about did you do this the right way? And you are setting the expectation. You are setting the bar sky high. And so what does no ceiling, to use Mack Wilson's quote, no ceiling, what does that actually look like? Because no ceiling means limitless. It means you just look up and it's directly into the sky, right? The ceiling is the roof, according to a famous basketball player one time. No ceiling means this team can win a Super Bowl. That's what no ceiling in the NFL would mean. Conference championship game, Super Bowl appearance. Do we really think that's in the cards, no pun intended, for this team in 2025? Is that on our radar? Or do we want this to be year one of their contending window to be open, their championship window to be open? I don't think anybody expects a conference championship appearance. I don't think anybody expects a Super Bowl appearance. I think everybody expects this team to be in the playoffs. That's the ceiling. That's what the expectation should be. But more importantly, let's flip this question on its head. Let's go to the other end of this spectrum. Because if there's no ceiling, what's the floor for this team? What should be the floor for this team? Well, we kind of answered that already, haven't we? Isn't the floor for this team, expectation-wise, playoffs? Isn't the floor, expectation-wise, you better be playing meaningful games those last 3 weeks of the season? Isn't the floor that I don't want to hear about next year at all over the course of the regular season? I don't want to hear about, well, if this happened or that happened or if this break went our way. The floor is there are no excuses. The floor is the playoffs should be in your future. And then when you get to the playoffs, the ceiling can be winning a game, maybe making it to the second round. But the floor is making the playoffs. And when you say that there's no ceiling on a team, you are putting the highest of expectations on a team that hasn't been to the playoffs in years. You're putting high expectations on a team that went 8-9 a year ago. You're putting high expectations on a team that we all still have major questions about the quarterback. Do we know if Kyler Murray can win a big game? The moment the words came out of my mouth, I heard everybody just scream no. Everybody watched that wild card game. Everybody watched the last couple of years, those big games late in the season. They watched the second half last year. We all watched that. We have major questions about the quarterback. There's a lot of new here. They went 8-9 a year ago. They had a collapse in the second half. I'm just focusing on making the playoffs because the roster's talented enough. That is a logical next step in the progression that they were close to making it last year. Now you've made the change to your roster. It's time to just make that little small step forward and break through and make it in. After that, I don't want to say I don't care, but let's just check one box at a time. We can't be talking about no ceiling and conference championships and Super Bowl. We can't talk about any of that. How about we get a lottery ticket? How about we get a ticket to the dance? How about we're even in the mix? Because we haven't done that in the last couple of years. So no ceiling. How about just having the correct floor first? I love the optimism. I love the mentality of setting the expectation that high. That's what I want out of this team. I want there to be that drive. But we also need to be realistic and understand that no ceiling is the highest of highest expectations that you can set. Let's just get into the playoffs and see what happens.
What does the floor look like if you hit it? What changes does that come upon? You know, we talked about the quarterback, and this feels like the first year they're going to be able to get out of that. Does it start to raise questions about the coach?
If you hit the floor, and the floor is make the playoffs, right? If you hit the floor and you make the playoffs,
then you're good. You move on to the next year.
Kyler's not going anywhere. No hot seat talk about Gannon or Monty. You make the small tweaks of your roster. You see what moves did we think would have worked and didn't? What players are aging out of our roster? And you retool and you're like, okay, how do we get even better? Right? That's what happens if you hit the floor. You're saying, what if they miss the floor entirely? Kyler Murray's not the quarterback of this team if they miss the floor. It will be 7 years and it will be done. They will be moving in a different direction. There will be a new chapter and whatever comes with that. There will be a renewed conversation about putting Jonathan Gannon and Monty Ossenfort on the hot seat. They are not on the hot seat right now. They are, I don't think, are even close to the hot seat. But if you miss the playoffs after all of this, you have been the talk of the offseason, spending the way you did in free agency, talking up Marvin Harrison Jr., saying that there's no ceiling, saying all of these things, right? We are going to have some of those tough conversations. You betcha. You betcha past me. You betcha. You had it right on the money when you said we are going to have some of those tough conversations. You were right on the money. I don't even remember the context, but you were 100% accurate with that. Because then people are going to question, do you have the head coach? Now, you're not going to make a change. They're going to get another year. But those questions are now going to be at the front. They're going to be the front of the line. Because now there's no quarterback conversation to have anymore. So you missed the floor. Quarterback's gone. Coach and GM are under immense pressure to break through because now it's going to be year 4 and you haven't even played in a playoff game. Right now, we have set the expectations here on this show. Hey, just make the playoffs. That's all you got to do. You don't have to win. You don't have to go on a run. Just make the playoffs. When we get to late January, February, and the playoffs are starting, just be a participant. If they miss that this year, and they change quarterbacks and the coach and the GM are on the hot seat, now you enter year 4 with the expectation being, hey, just make the playoffs. Now it's going to be year 5 when you're supposed to make a run. You kick the can way too far down the road. So there's a lot of pressure on this team, a lot to make the playoffs this year. I like that they're embracing the pressure. I like these types of comments from Mack Wilson, but you are setting yourself up in a spot where if you miss the floor and the floor is making the playoffs, all bets are off for what next season is going to look like. So no ceiling, I'm not willing to go that far. A floor of a postseason team, you betcha. That should be the floor for this team in 2025. When we come back, I want to make the case that it was the most important start of the season. And it's the exact reason why they paid him $210 million. That's next on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Screen time's over.
Be home by 11?
Put your phone down while we're eating.
When parents set boundaries, keep track of where their kids go, and talk to them about the dangers of underage drinking and drugs, they keep their kids safe. Visit TalkNowAZ.com. Be the influence. Talk early. Talk often. Talk now.
Thanks. Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
This message is sponsored by Substance Awareness Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
The Offspring. Supercharged worldwide in 25. One unforgettable summer night. The Offspring, live in Phoenix. With special guests, Jimmy E. World and Newfound Glory. Playing Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater August 27th. Get tickets now at livenation.com. 3 great bands. 1 incredible show. Part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
Looking to sell your home? Hi, I'm Andrew the Home Buyer, and I love making it easy to sell your house. I'll personally come and give you a cash offer the same day we meet, and I'll beat any other offer. It really is that easy to sell your home, and no need to clean or fix anything. I'll buy it in as-is condition. Call me, Andrew the Home Buyer, today to get your same-day cash offer. Visit AndrewTheHomebuyer.com.
The summertime savings are heating up at Scottsdale Mitsubishi. Right now, you can receive a 2.99% APR for up to 60 months on a brand new 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander. Or check out a brand new 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage for just $15,995.
Go to ScottsdaleMitsubishi.com to check out our current selection of inventory not affected by future tariff changes. The name to remember, Scottsdale Mitsubishi, Scottsdale Mitsubishi, another Mark Auto Group dealership.
Feeling uneasy about your financial future? You need a partner that helps lighten the load. Welcome to Global Credit Union. It means early payday, your paycheck up to 3 days early with direct deposit, accounts with no NSF fees, and a mobile app with tools to help you manage your family budget. At Global, we take member care seriously with branches near you and a 24/7 US-based call center staffed by real people. Join us at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union.
Total Wireless is made to totally keep up with you. We have unlimited data that never slows you down, covered by the Verizon 5G network, and all for less than $30 a month when you get 4 lines. And the best part, we give you a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G when you switch to the 5G Unlimited or 5G Plus Unlimited plan. Visit your local Total Wireless store today. Total Wireless, we're totally with you. Actual speeds may vary by location. For data management practices, see TotalWireless.com.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KTUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
We've spent a lot of time today here on the program, and welcome back into the lunch break. Chris Schubert here with you, kicking off the week on a Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you're having a great start to the week. Spent a lot of time looking backwards to Friday night in particular of this series between the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers and the disaster that it was. It could have been worse. And do you want to know why it could have been worse? Because that game could have been directly parlayed into the Dodgers running over this team the remaining 2 days of the series. To where we're talking today about a Diamondbacks team that won the opener, had an awesome comeback, but then fell short, lost 3 in a row, and I'm taking phone calls from Paul going on his victory lap, or I'm getting emails from Paul going on his victory lap, and we're taking the yell from the Dodgers fans today. That's what could have been. But do you want to know why it wasn't? Do you want to know why the Dodgers didn't get that opportunity? Because of a guy that the Snakes paid $210 million this past offseason when they signed a perennial Cy Young candidate, when they went out and signed the best free agent starting pitcher they did so maybe not directly for games like yesterday, but for games like Saturday. Because you need a stopper. You need an elite stopper that understands the moment, that understands the magnitude, doesn't wilt under that pressure, and can give you the type of start that Corbin Burnes gave this team on Saturday. That is exactly what they needed. They just had the toughest loss of the season. We put it number one. We put it number one on the list of games that this team has lost this season. Number one, top of the list. I don't know if anything is going to take its spot by the time the season is over. And then you got to play another game against this team. And by the way, you didn't just lose a game like that to the Pirates or to the White Sox or to the Rockies, who fired their manager over the weekend after a win, mind you. It wasn't against one of those teams. It was against the Dodgers, who use those types of games as fuel. And so you could have seen the script be written where they come back, they score sixth in the ninth, they steal that game back after you stole it from them, and they just roll through the rest of the weekend. But you know what? Corbin Burnes wasn't going to let that happen. He was brought here. He was paid $210 million to win those types of starts. This was an okay weekend for the team that could have been much, much worse. You split. You didn't lose ground. You could have gained ground. You missed an opportunity. But you missed an opportunity and you didn't totally hurt yourself. And that is because the start that you got from Corbin Burnes on Saturday, looking like an elite Cy Young caliber starter, having that cutter working. And I don't even think he's at his best yet. His last three starts have been great, but overall, he's walking more guys than he's used to. He's not striking out as many guys as he used to. I still think he is trying to find it a little bit. But on Saturday, when the Diamondbacks needed him to answer the call, he did. That is why they brought him here. If you want to go toe-to-toe with that team, if you want to go toe-to-toe with the rest of the teams in the National League, you need a starter to win games like that. You need a starter to make sure that a bad night doesn't become a bad weekend. You need to make sure a bad day doesn't become a bad week. And when you have somebody like Corbin Burnes in your rotation taking the ball every fifth or sixth day, there's a really good chance that you're going to be able to stop bad days from turning into bad weekends, bad days turning into a bad stretch. I just thought, considering the circumstances, considering what happened less than 24 hours before, the best start of the season by any single Diamondback starting pitcher. Exactly when they needed it, Corbin Burnes delivered his Mona Lisa of the season, his best start of the year. Corbin Burnes delivered on Saturday. Needed it.
And he gave you 7 innings, length to get to, was Ryan Nelson, who closed it.
Closer Ryan Nelson on Saturday.
Closer Ryan Nelson really didn't see a stressful inning all game. He had 2 walks. One of them, they intentionally put Ohtani on. So he only walked one other batter. I don't remember a stressful inning in the game. And I just thought he was dominant. Only the 5 Ks, but really he's a pitch to contact guy and has been for a lot of his career. That sinker cutter, he gets a lot of weak contact. The ERA's come down under 3 at 2.95 now. And to do this to the Dodgers, that's only the 3rd time they've been shut out all year, Chris.
So, courtesy of one of our favorite Twitter accounts here on the program, at DBack Stats and Info, the first 4 starts for Corbin Burnes, a 4.64 ERA. His last 3 starts, a sub-1 ERA, 0.98 ERA, 18 1/3 innings over his last 3 starts, only 2 earned runs allowed, 16 strikeouts, but 10 walks. The walks are a little elevated. In fact, he's walking 4.31 per 9 innings pitched compared to 2.22 last year. So nearly double the amount of walks per 9 as he was a year ago. So that's really the thing that's stopping him from becoming old school Corbin Burnes, but you've seen it over the last 3 starts. A sub-1 ERA. And the other reason why that start was so important on Saturday is because you were worried going into Saturday. They skipped him on Monday against the Mets, was dealing with fatigue. We've seen that story before this season. And then they brought Justin Martinez back. He had those couple of outings. The velocity was down. Boom, placed on the 15-day IL. So you already are primed. You're prepared for things to go from bad to worse. And Corbin Burnes, that extra time off that he got, the extra recovery period, missing just the one start, he came out and delivered. So not only was it a great start just on its own in a vacuum, but it was a great start considering the context, considering the circumstances of you just skipped this guy on Monday. Everybody was on pins and needles. They were on eggshells worrying about Corbin Burns and making sure that this was just a one-time thing. And boy, did he give you that sigh of relief on Saturday being as dominant as he was.
Only twice did they have 2 runners on, and only one of them was with less than 2 outs. And in that scenario, it was 2 on, 1 out in the 4th, and he struck out the next 2 guys, got out of the inning.
That was very good of you to just pull those numbers there, right? Just in real time.
I'm a huge nerd. Went through the game.
Yeah, just have the game log there. Just go through it. But yeah, limited base traffic, dominant, throwing up zeros, giving the length, answering the call, giving, I think, everybody in that building the sigh of relief that, okay, yeah, he just needed to miss that one start. Everything's okay. And
knowing that yesterday wasn't going to continue to hurt you into today and then into tomorrow, which we thought it very well could.
Yeah. You just got exactly the start that you needed from Corbin Burns at exactly the right time. Because you lose that game with Burns on the mound, it could have been a snowball that ran downhill. And again, they did not have a good weekend. They missed an opportunity on Friday. We should be talking about a team that took 3 out of 4 from the Dodgers. No doubt about it. They blew that game on Friday. But you split. It could have been a lot worse if not for Corbin Burns giving the best start that he's had this season, the best start that we've seen from a Diamondback starter all season. I think that is better considering the circumstances than Zach Gallen's start with the 12, 13 strikeouts against the Yankees. Just excellent. If you want a chance to see the Diamondbacks, you can listen for your chance to win 4 tickets to the Diamondbacks when they take on the Colorado Rockies. Saturday, May 17th at Chase Field. Make sure you get there early. Pick up the replica home jersey at the game on May 17th. Stick around for an awesome post-game fireworks show. You can get your tickets at dbacks.com/SGT, but we're giving away a 4-pack. You got to be listening. You have to be registered. You need to be logged in either on the app or you're streaming us on the website. You listen for an hour. You are entered in to win that prize. Now, you know who I heard from during a Diamondback segment, during a baseball segment? You know who I heard from?
Paul.
I did. Not a fan of sitting a healthy starter from any game just to rest him, especially a team that needs every win they can get, especially the best player. At least they could have used him as the DH, but you can't sit him against the first-place team. It also gives the look to your fans that you don't care. And then he added, Dustin May just about matched Corbin Burns pitch for pitch, and he doesn't have any $210 million contract. The effort that Burns gave Saturday makes resting Marte even more of a bad decision. I think if you lose on Saturday with Burns on the mound, I think he would have gone all bets are off on Sunday. But I think after winning, it allowed them to probably be like, all right, this was the scheduled off day. We can feel a little bit better about doing this. Again, this is the way baseball is in 2025, ladies and gentlemen. They are going to give these guys days off, especially early in the season. Pre-planned. I guarantee you this was pre-planned a week ago. They knew what they were going to do with Ketel Marte, and they soft-circled this as the day off that they were going to give him. You can disagree with it. You don't have to like it. I don't like it either. I want to see Ketel Marte out there. Again, maybe there's a happy medium of him DHing instead of being out there playing the field. Perhaps. But with the soft tissue injury, they're going to take it slow. That's what they're going to do. Like it or don't like it. When we come back, got the leftovers, all the stories that we didn't get to throughout the course of the program. We'd also love to hear from you, 480-864-1060. It's the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh, my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. T&Cs apply.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Phoenix. Footprint Center, Saturday, August 2nd. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com.
It's about to get heavy.
Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Ink card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Ink Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
How do you feel when you switch to Geico and save on your car insurance? It's like unloading the grocery bags from your car and you decide you can get all the bags in one trip.
I can do it.
So you load up all 14 grocery bags on both arms. Sure, you can't feel your fingers and forgot to take your house keys out.
Almost there.
But you never put down one bag and you made it inside all in one trip, like the bag-carrying boss you are.
Yes.
Yep, switching and saving with Geico feels just like that. Get more with Geico.
ASU baseball continues here on KDUS AM 1060. Join the Sun Devils as they look to face off against Grand Canyon University. ASU knows that every game counts as they start the final week of the regular season and are ready to give it their all against the Lopes. The voice of the Sun Devils, Tim Healy, will have the call live. It's ASU versus GCU this Tuesday night. Pregame at 6:15 p.m. and first pitch at 6:30 right here on KDUS AM 1060 and online at KDUS1060.com/Sun Devils.
Welcome back into the lunch break. Chris Schubert here with you. We got one more. We're done here today on a Monday. The way we close out every single day here on the program, the leftovers. We pile onto the plate all the stories that we didn't get to or whatever producer Evan thinks is intriguing that he wants my immediate thoughts on. And we do it here to end the show, which means I can rip up my show rundown for today because we're good. My job here, done. I have provided the topics and the takes. Now I just get to react to whatever producer Evan has. So, sir, the show is all yours.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
USA Today wrote a nice little article today as the schedule releases this week.
Okay.
About 5 teams that deserve more primetime games in 2025. And I want to preface this by saying this is a very interesting list.
I want to guess.
Yes.
I want to try to play along. 5 teams. Read me the title again.
5 teams that deserve more primetime games in 2025.
Chicago Bears.
Chicago Bears are on the list at 3.
Chicago Bears are on the list at 3. All right, that was my favorite answer on my list.
Okay, well, think same track as the Bears. The Bears are interesting because they have a second-year quarterback. You have another team.
The New England Patriots?
Yeah, they're 5. Or they're 4. They're 4.
The Commanders.
Commanders are 1.
So Commanders, Bears, Patriots. Mm-hmm. I'm missing 2 other teams.
Yes, both in the NFC.
Both in the NFC. They are going to want to have more. Tampa Bay?
Not Tampa Bay. You have another team in the NFC North. And you have
Minnesota?
Minnesota.
Because of McCarthy?
That
makes sense.
This one at 5 is probably the more interesting one. I think that they're on the list because of how last year finished. And yeah, I get why they're on the list, but this could go. I just don't think they're going to have a single primetime game.
You've confused me more with your explanation.
And it's Carolina.
Carolina did play well in the second half last year. They were super competitive late, right, against Kansas City.
They played that awesome game in the last week against Atlanta.
They played Dallas really close.
The Eagles really close.
Yeah, that was that stretch of like 3 or 4 weeks in a row where it was down to the wire in the fourth quarter.
Bryce looked good at the end of the year.
Yeah, he did. I would not, out of all the teams on this list, I would not be handing any more primetime games to the Carolina Panthers. They can have a nice Thursday night game against the Falcons and like it.
No, the Thursday night Titans-Jags game was a complete classic for years.
Yeah, Titans-Jags, and then this year is going to be Panthers-Saints. Have fun with that when that comes out.
It's another good one. Okay, officially this weekend, staying in football, Derek Carr has announced his retirement.
This is tough. This is tough for me because I have always been a Derek Carr defender. I have been a Derek Carr stan. I believe.
And that's crazy.
He has gotten a bad rap from a lot of people. I think when he was in his prime, he was a better quarterback than people wanted to give him credit for. So I have been a supporter of Derek Carr. I have been a follower of his career. And to see it go out this way, I think it's a really disappointing thing. He seems to be at peace with the decision. Just the injuries just piled up on him in the shoulder. They did not think he was going to be able to come back and guaranteed to be at 100% with the shoulder injury that he had. So he decided to call it quits. Really disappointing. I think he got a bad rap in first Oakland and then Vegas. And then the Saints' tenure did not go well. I will grant that. It was not a good run there in New Orleans for him. But yeah, I think I classify him as an underrated quarterback. I know others don't feel the same, but for my personal brand, it was a tough weekend to see Derek Carr retire.
No, it's an interesting argument with Derek Carr because he's a broken leg from having a league MVP. And when you look at that, you're like, okay. But Carson Wentz is a torn ACL from being league MVP.
Sure.
So to me, they're the same player.
And Derek Carr is very much, we use the truck and trailer analogy with quarterbacks on the air all the time. There are times where Derek Carr looks like he can be a truck, and then there are other times where he's a trailer. He kind of moves back and forth between those two buckets. And I don't think he ever had a really solid extended 4 or 5 year run showing that he's a truck. I think he's truck, trailer, just back and forth. And I think that's what, gave him the reputation of not being able to win a big game and being able to be a franchise quarterback.
And in the few big games that he played in, he really didn't have a chance. Just injuries kind of burned him up. And then they played that weird, I call it weird because really not that long ago, but they played Cincinnati the year Cincinnati went to Super Bowl.
The wild card game.
Game, and they were in it.
Yeah.
He threw a pick at the end to lose that game, but they should have won that game.
He got hurt the year that then Connor Cook had to start a playoff game.
Yeah.
He then had his coach get removed in John Gruden. So
no, it was a tough go.
Right. Didn't have the breaks that other quarterbacks had to go his way. Now, if you are a super elite franchise quarterback, you overcome those things. But I've never claimed that he's elite. I think at times he was a top 10, top 8 quarterback and just didn't get the respect because the results maybe weren't necessarily there. But Derek Carr, hats off to you. Hope the retirement treats you well. Hopefully you can find this goes for all sports. When this is your whole life for a long time, it can take you a little bit to kind of readjust and
getting back into the real world.
Yeah, so hopefully he's able to find joy in whatever he wants to do next and however spending time with family, traveling, whatever he wants to do. Hopefully he's able to find joy and peace and, best of wishes to Derek Carr.
As we talk about retirement and the finishes of something, TNTs and what will be their last year of NBA coverage. NBC is going to take over. Yeah. And NBC signed a big name today.
Yeah.
They're going to have Michael Jordan be a part of their coverage as a special contributor.
Yeah, so they're describing him as a special contributor. So I don't know how often he's going to be a part of their broadcast.
My initial thought is it's going to be like Gretzky when he jumps in late in the playoffs.
And if they do that and Jordan is able to provide, because I think when people heard that Wayne Gretzky was going to be a part of the TNT TBS hockey coverage, obviously big name, the biggest name in the sport, the greatest of all time. I don't think people understood the personality that Gretzky is. And he's been awesome. In this TV role. I hope that it is the same for Jordan. I hope that the mystique of being the great one, he's able to poke fun at himself. He's able to have a good time, laugh with everybody else, not take it too seriously. Again, this is one of the most competitive people in the history of sports. It's hard for him to do this, but I think he needs to just tone it back a little bit, right? Doesn't need to be super competitive when he's up there. Just be himself, have fun, have a good time. Don't be afraid to laugh at yourself because I think that will make really compelling television.
And that's what Gretzky does so well.
Yes.
He's the best. First of all, I also think part of the fun with Gretzky is that there's nobody I'd trust more to break down this game than give me Wayne Gretzky's thought on it.
And so he's smart, he's articulate, but he also can be funny.
Yeah.
It's the perfect combo for that studio show and to have fun. I hope Jordan can tap into the same thing.
I do too. Last one. I've been giving you kind of all year some MLB power ranking updates. I figured I would give you today's top 5 and then a look at where the Diamondbacks are. I'm a huge nerd. Number 1, the Los Angeles Dodgers after splitting a series in Chase Field. New York moves up a spot from 3 to number 2. That is the Mets.
Okay, I was going to say, which New York team? They're both playing pretty well.
New York Mets. Up from 4 come the San Diego Padres to sit at 3. Detroit comes up 1 spot from 5 to 4. Phillies round out the top 5, coming up from 8 to be in the 5th spot. Cubs dropped out of the top 5 into 6. And the Arizona Diamondbacks sit all the way down at 13, move down 2 spots from 1.
Yeah, a 500 baseball team right now that hasn't had that long stretch to make you change your narrative about this team. They got to do it. Hopefully they can start it tonight. We'll break it all down tomorrow on tomorrow's edition of the Lunch Break. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Jim Rome's coming up next. Everybody have a great rest of your Monday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya!
AM 1060 KDUS